How's it going, everyone? Today I'm here to talk about how to make your PlayStation VR2 experience that little bit better in regards to comfort and clarity. Now, I've seen a lot of videos in regards to this blurriness that people have, and it isn't just a PlayStation VR2 this can happen with. It can happen to a number of headsets, and it can be purely for the way people are wearing them. There is a thing called a sweet spot, self-explanatory, but how to achieve that sweet spot is different for everyone. And the reason it's subjective is because everyone's heads are different. Basically, for the PlayStation VR2 today, which we're focusing on, this is a halo strap design. So this strap is meant to go over the back of the head. I'm very lucky that basically this headset sits exactly where I want it for the sweet spot. Now, my wife, for example, for her to wear this and achieve a clear image, this head strap has to basically go up here because her head's just smaller, and maybe the bridge of her head at the back isn't quite as arched as someone else's. So that's what I'm saying, it's subjective. You have to basically try and find your own way of making this comfortable, and all I can do is let you know the things that I do personally to achieve that. So as I showed you a minute ago, basically make sure you press this button to unclip it. You slid the unit out itself holding this button, and you slide it over your head. Lift it up to where you feel the shape of this bit sit on your forehead. Make sure the strap is underneath, and then do it up. Move this in and out until it feels comfortable. Now for me, all the pressure, probably half of it's here, most of it's here, and none of it is on my face. This shouldn't have any pressure on your face at all. Sure, you can feel it because you've got the shield here that blocks all the light, but it should sit very comfortably on your face. Now, when it comes to caring for your lenses, you're looking for a microfiber lint-free cloth. Basically, you can pick them up on Amazon. Usually you get these with free VR products, but when it comes to the PlayStation VR2, there actually isn't any VR products currently apart from the stand that I reviewed yesterday. I'll put a link to that video here. So yeah, what you want to do is get a microfiber lint-free cloth. Make sure you keep this separate from any other cloths. Basically, I'll have a little storage pouch there. So this microfiber cloth comes out and goes straight back in there because you don't want to get anything on this when you rub it on your lenses. You don't want to get it wet. I've seen a lot of people mention about spraying something on here. Don't do that. Please don't do that. You don't need to do that. Just rub it in circular motions, okay, really gently. It might take a bit of time. It's not really a rush job, and just keep rubbing. And then basically when you get back in the headset, check for the clarity and make sure that it's nice and clear. Now, the reason you need to keep these scratch proof until a decent lens cover comes out that I can recommend is because if you scratch this, there's no real turning back from that. Over the years, I've had people messaging me saying they've scratched their lenses, then they've used scratch remover to try and get rid of the scratch, and it's just made it worse. So the idea is preventative measures of using a lint-free cloth. Sure, they're going to get dirty because your eyelashes are going to rub on there. You might get hot and sweaty. But to be fair, the PlayStation VR2 actually has really good ventilation due to these vents on top of the headset. I've not really experienced any fogging up in this headset yet, but as I said earlier, everyone's different. Now, the next thing you need to do is focus on your IPD. Now, there is an IPD setup process in the PlayStation VR menu, which will have you looking at separate lights. So the idea is you always press this button to keep your hand on here, and your other hand goes on the back of here. For some reason, I've seen people grab it this side, move this around. If you move that, technically you should go back and set up the IPD process again, but most of us don't. We then just go, oh yeah, that'll be all right, and I'll roll it around and hope it'll get back. Now, Sony's idea of this roller is actually not really a good one because it's not a hard fix. If you use something like the Pico, it's electronically set up. You click it inside the headset and it will mechanically move on its own. On the Quest, it's a very rigid push. You have to really push quite hard to get that IPD to change, even though this is much more variable. The Quest is like 3 settings. This is much more variable, but at the same time, it's prone to movement really easy. So it's not ideal, but it's what we've got and what we've got to deal with. So what I would suggest is once you set up that IPD, is make sure you don't move it ever again. Now, the last thing on this list is the eye tracking. You can set this up inside the system menus. It's very simple, and I've also seen people mention that if dynamic foveated rendering is in play and the eye tracking isn't calibrated correctly, it could make the games blurry. Now, my opinion on this one is there isn't many games even using dynamic foveated rendering. I think there's only 2 so far out of the whole library that are even using this technology. So I'm not sure how much this will help you, but you should definitely have the eye tracking set up correctly for yourself regardless, and especially make sure you're doing it if you're passing the headset around. So when it comes to the sweet spot, we've just done everything we need to set up and get the headset on ready. Now we need to make sure we can see clearly. So you get it comfortable again. Now what can happen is the sweet spot can be up, down, and even left and right for some people. So this is where you make micro adjustments. So once I'm looking at an image and I think, right, that looks nice and clear now, is I over adjust the headband so it feels a little bit too tight, and then press the button again. And that will lock onto the next stage of the headband, and it should feel nice and comfortable. So ultimately the message is, VR is still subjective. There is no one VR headset for everyone's head, but all we can do is follow these steps and hopefully make this a little bit better. If you've got any tips or tricks that you want to share with the community that you found that have helped you improve your VR experience, please leave them in the comments below. And we also have a VR Discord where you can share your thoughts and opinions on anything virtual reality. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope this helps. If it does, remember to leave a like, and I'll see you on the next video.